up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy-to-make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, all for less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance. Priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Hon, the WeatherTech's here.
WeatherTech is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Laser-measured floor liners, no-drill mud flaps, cargo liner, bump step, seat protector, and cup phone.
What about my car?
WeatherTech.
Hawk Performance packs 100 years of friction dynamics into every product. Backed by Carlisle Brake and Friction, the world's premier innovator of industrial brake and friction components, Hawk leverages R&D tools and motorsports experience to deliver uncompromising performance on the street. There's no reason to settle for less. Choose pads that are race-proven and street legal. Find the Hawk Performance brake dealer near you at hawkperformance.com.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance. Priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. The Mission Foods SpeedTour has made its way here to the North Georgia facility, the 2.54-mile Road Atlanta circuit. This is stop number 2 of the 2025 championship season. Ralph Shaheen alongside Ben Sissel. Ben, it has been a very chilly, very windy weekend. Now today, beautiful sunshine, not a cloud anywhere. Still got some breeze blowing, as you can see the flags whipping around, but bright, bright sunshine.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful day here. It was windy and cold, It's starting to heat up. It's getting a little bit warmer. These Pirelli P0s are going to have their work cut out for them. This is always a very difficult track, and with it being this early in the season, we've had some absolutely fantastic international GT races here at Road Atlanta. But with this being their second race, to be honest, yesterday's race had some caution laps. Usually IGT's second race is the race to watch, and we've got some unbelievable cars and drivers out here in International GT.
Well, and the weather conditions this morning, not necessarily what they were yesterday, at the same time, much cooler yesterday.
Yeah, it was much cooler yesterday and a little bit windier. We have a constant wind here, as you can see from the flags, but we had some pretty good gusts yesterday. But I'm going to run through the grid here. We've got a few different classes in International GT. I think Ken Fangler, the president of International GT, is going to join us here for this Mission Foods Road Atlanta Speed Tour. So in position 1, running exhibition, is Memo Gidley with the Ski Autosports Audi RS. And Russ H. was joining us in the comment section here on our YouTube channel. He's here watching it. Then in International GT, Tom Pank in that GT4R. Then Jason Craver is in the exhibition class in a Lamborghini Super Trofeo. But I need to brag on my friend Tom Pank, who was in the booth with you at Sebring. He blew his engine at Sebring just less than a month ago, and Kurt's team of mechanics, they didn't put a new engine in. They rebuilt the engine from bottom up. So that's quite some hustle. Then we have Dr. Reg Williams in the 008 GT4R starting 4th. David Tuwadi with Farah and TLM in the number 68 Miami Sound Machine car of the 2020 Porsche GT3 Cup R. Mark Sandridge from Medina, Ohio, Sandridge Foods, Grandma Salad in the 2020 Porsche GT3 Cup. Michael Merritt in the 898 Porsche GT3 Cup starting 7th. And Lucas Pank starting 8th, Thomas's son. Mission Foods man himself at the Mission Foods Road Atlanta Speed Tour. It's my honor to introduce Juan Gonzalez. Always, they just showed the Mission Foods commercial. They're always making hungry. Stephen Thomas starting 10th in the number 710. 11th is John Boyette. 12th is 189 of Tommy Ballister. Watch out for Tom Ballister. I think he won the championship last year, but he and Juan have some great battles. Number 22 is Brian Hicks starting 13th. Cliff Kayer starting 14th in the number 08 with International GT in the GT4 liter class. Then we have Woody Witchert in the 2024 Porsche Cayman Club Sport, but he's running exhibition. Brian Norman, GT 3.6, starting 16th. Tom Kirk is in a Cayman 4.0. Thad Berger is in a GT 4.0. John Intile in a Cayman 3.8. Spencer Proper running exhibition in a Porsche Cayman. Then starting 21st is Stephen Denton in a 2014 Porsche GT3 Cup. Rick Manis starting 22nd. Kurt Kropp starting 23rd. And Eric Gray. 24 cars will take the green here at Road Atlanta. This is always exciting, isn't it, Ross?
It really is, and it's exciting for the drivers too, right? Because this is one track that is really going to challenge your courage. It is such a fast circuit, and there's so many places that are going to push you to the edge, like right down through here as we're watching them come down into that final corner.
And you saw them going into the Mission Foods 10A section. There's still shadows from the trees. So during this race, those shadows will not be there anymore, and the track temperature is going to go up. They are on Pirelli P0s, which are absolutely sticky, good tires that last throughout this race. But we have 2 races here this weekend, 2 sprint races, and an enduro we're going to cover on Sunday. So this is going to be a good weekend for International GT. On board right here with Lucas Pank with the V-Box. You can see down in the bottom left his hands. Now Lucas's car came in on the truck yesterday, but it looks like Kurt and his team were able to get that going. Lucas is Tom Pank's son, but you can see he's following David Tuwadi, Tom Pank, David Tuwadi, Reg Williams, Lucas Pank, some of our really good competitors up front, as is Mark Sandridge. And Mark Sandridge has a pretty big name guest driver with us in the Sunday race. as we look high above
You're
Spectator
just going to
Hill.
tease us with that? You're not going to...
I'm just going to tease us because you can't commit to it yet because anything can happen. But we've got, we have a bunch of really big name drivers that run with International GT, and we'll talk about that Friday when they do driver change. They come around the Q3 turn 6. Like I said, the Ski Autosports car of Memo Gidley and that Lamborghini up front, first and third, those are running in the exhibition class. I think they're just trying to get some laps in here before the Petite Le Mans.
Well, and Lucas had a great weekend at Sebring, picking up 1 win in race number 1. He was second in race number 2, third in race number 3, and did not run the endurance race. So that's a pretty good weekend, not falling off the podium.
Yeah, he is an International GT champion from, I believe, 2022. His dad won it, the championship, in, I believe, 2018. So Lucas and his dad, that's Tom Pank there in second in the green and blue car, and Lucas in the number 40. So that's the Panks. And then there's Reg Williams in that 008 as they go 2 by 2, and I'm going to let you take us to green.
All right, working our way through 10. That means we're coming up and over the hill. Pank and Gedley will lead us to the green flag. Pace car is off. Easing our way down that steep hill. That's the highest elevation point here at Road Atlanta, coming up underneath that bridge, over 900 feet. On to the long front straightaway. There's the green, and we are racing here at Road Atlanta. Memo Gedley, first one out into the lead in that Audi R8, but it's Pank right behind him in second, then Craver.
Yeah, I saw Craver get a little bit squirrely when he got on the loud pedal and dropped back to fourth. Seemed like his car, the tires weren't quite up to temperature, and the rear end stepped out from him as they come through this Q3S's section.
My favorite shot of Road Atlanta, right there, working your way up, down, and then back up out of those S's. Just spectacular. If you're ever here, you got to walk over there and watch the cars rip through there.
Yeah, they call it Spectator Hill for a reason. It's Tom Pank trying to give Memo Gidley a run for his money. And then there's Reg Williams with Craver right behind him in that Lamborghini Super Cafe.
Coming out of turn 7. Now let's find out what kind of horsepower you got. This is where you're shooting for terminal velocity to the far end, where you start to get hard on the brakes down at 10A.
Looks like Lucas and Mark Sanders are going at it. There's the Ski Autosports car. Now, Ski was with us for many years with Andy Pilgrim behind the red Ferrari, but I haven't seen him out here in that Audi R8. Great looking car. Tom Pank tries to get up behind him. Memo Gidley is here for different purposes. And look at this coming into Mission Foods 10A route.
Yep, that's the number 16 diving to the inside there, Stephen Denton. And there's a good look at the 41. That's Brian Norman in that GT 3.6.
Juan Gonzalez, Mission Foods, coming through Mission Foods turn 1 here.
Yeah, and right now he is running in 9th in that GT4R.
Lucas Pank, and then Merritt right behind Lucas.
There's Lucas and Merritt right there. Merritt with the white with the kind of a copper-looking stripe, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, Merritt was also with us at Sebring.
Yeah, he had a pretty good run at Sebring as well. He was up in the front, challenging all weekend long.
All right, but look at this. David Twatty in the orange car behind Reg Williams. And then I love that car. Beautiful car. That's Spencer Cropper. That's the 2024 Porsche Cayman.
Twatty as well was in the hunt all weekend long at Sebring with a second in race 1, a third in race 2, and a second in race 3. So all those names you've mentioned already here are all the guys we expect week in and week out with the International GT Series to be right up the front fighting for spots on the podium.
Yep. Yeah, we see Lucas Pank was overtaken by Merritt. Now right behind Merritt as they come into Mission Foods turn 1.
Such a great view out of Lucas's car, that onboard coming down out of the hill, and you can see how close to the edge of the racetrack they go coming onto that front straightaway. So many guys dipping wheels over there over the course of the weekend, and boy, that can lead to disaster. But our favorite part of the track right through here, Ben.
Yeah, it's so fun to watch drivers when they get into a rhythm there. They can really go fast. But Merritt moving up behind Tuwadi, who's behind Reg Williams. This is going to be quite a battle here for International GT, with these 4 cars fighting for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th in IGT overall.
There's the sweep through 9 as you're making your, no, this is up at the far end. I guess this is 7. Coming out on it, there we go, onto the back straightaway.
So Dr. Reg Williams, who's always with us at VIR, has come down here to Road Atlanta with us a few times in that 008. There is the leader in International GT, Tom Pank. Again, the car in front of him, Memo Gidley, is running in the exhibition class. That's a great Road Atlanta shot, though, too.
It is, under the bridge, as we said, the highest elevation point. I think it's 921 feet, something like that, above sea level there. Down the front straightaway, which is a long straightaway, but not nearly as long as that back stretch. And as you come through these S's, Ben, it looks like maybe in some ways the cars are just kind of rolling down through there. No, they're charging through there. Through this section through here, boy, you are really hard on it. All the way up the hill here as we're watching Pank, and right up in there you start getting off the throttle, setting up for that turn right there, which is turn 4.
So we are joined by Ken Fangler in the booth, the president of International GT, and the person that started all of this with his good friend Bill Riddell. And Ken, another great start here at Road Atlanta. I know that this is a highlight on the International GT season, and we've got some big names out there as well.
On the podium yesterday said it's a great place to come because just everybody's having fun.
Ken, what, obviously, as you said, the vibe around the event is lighthearted, though very serious. But what else is it about the category that makes it so popular with so many people? Why are they wanting to be here right now?
Well, I think, as I think, better, just different. It's about racing with friends, it's being a sportsman on the racetrack, and being a good guy in the paddock. We have social, we have lots of opportunity to interact with other drivers. It's a lot more fun to race with somebody you actually know. You know, when you go door to door to know that you can trust them, and you just had a conversation, or maybe you had a piece of pizza and a beer over at the Mission Foods compound the night before, and you met this guy, you say, hey, let's go out and have some fun.
Yeah. And you got great competition, great caliber of drivers, cool cars. It's got all the right ingredients.
Yeah, the level of competition, we have guys who've been racing for a lot of years, like Mark Sandridge and Juan Gonzalez and a number of them. But we've welcomed a number of newcomers. We have 7 new drivers here that have never been with International GT. Now, a number of them have been in other series, but some of them are just starting out.
We got to talk about this battle right here, though, between Michael Merritt and Lucas Pank. But also, Ashley Kropp has joined us, and she's watching her dad, Kurt Kropp, race in the International GT right now. So welcome, Ashley.
That's the wonderful thing about live stream, is that all around the world people have the opportunity. Shout out, I heard you mention Bill Riddell earlier. Is he sitting on his couch rooting on I won't say grandfather of, but certainly the impetus for the International GT starting 12 years ago.
Yeah. Now Michael Merritt didn't look super smooth going through that Mission 10A, 10B, and Lucas Pank, very strategic racer. Like I said, a champion in years past in International GT. He's going to see that and try to make that pass, but Merritt has such a beautiful car.
Yeah, Lucas will look for the mistake. He's come on as a young guy who's a student of, I'll call the new generation. Spends lots of sim time, lots and lots and lots. I hardly know how to sit in a sim, never mind, actually operate it, but he spends it, and he's come on quickly. He's a very good student of the game, and he'll look for Michael to make a mistake and take advantage of that.
Yeah, Lucas in a GT4R, Michael Merritt in a GT4O. 8 years between those two cars. So let's see what happens here, because Lucas, knowing Lucas, he does kind of wait to pounce. He's a little bit more patient than the Tom Pank in that regard. But Tom Pank is up there fighting to try to take this overall lead, but currently leading in International GT.
Yeah, and yesterday, I don't know if you know, Lucas did push a bit, and there was no contact, but Lucas ended up going off in trying to make a pass on Michael. And no, it's just racing, no harm, no foul. You know, Lucas knew, hey, no problem. Michael just did his thing, and you know, that's the confidence you have to have going door to door.
And ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye on this leader, because I know Tom Pank, and he might regret me saying this. I'm sure I'll get a dirty text, but he's got a pretty big lead, but he is not going to lay back. He's still out there testing and racing the car. Like I said, Kurt spent since Sebring to now basically rebuilding that engine for him, and it looks like they found something here, because Tom Pank is absolutely flying.
Well, especially since he didn't get a lot of laps at Sebring, right?
Yeah.
And we see Lucas now has gotten around Merritt, so a change there.
So he went from 7th to 6th, 6th overall, but 4th in International GT.
Yeah, we didn't see the pass that Lucas made on Merritt, but obviously he waited for that opportunity to mistake, and as you say, very patient, very calculated move, just to see where the weakness was and where he could actually make that pass. Tom got out of the car yesterday. He was satisfied, but not satisfied with that second place finish. Tom's always looking ahead. He said his fastest time yesterday was a 23. He said, I know there's a 22 in the car, and he's done that this morning. How are we doing on the Cayman Stuttgart Cup Series? Stephen Thomas has been the class of the Stuttgart Cup. I see he's currently in 13th place, first with the Caymans. Over John Untitled, new driver with us, 3.8 liter. But good racing in the Cayman Series.
We see Tom Pank now,
Yep.
current leader in International GT, still really moving that car around. Car is looking really good too. Tom, Kurt, everybody there, it looks great. There's Juan Gonzalez going through Mission Foods, but John Boyette in that 911 car leading this field, catching up to Juan Gonzalez.
In the GT car, sandwiched between those four cars. Ryan back with us.
Through the S's.
Following Juan Gonzalez there in the Mission Foods car, but we've got
he's in 9th right now.
We've got Memo now catching up to some lap traffic, and here's our Stuttgart Cup as Tom Pank navigates his way through.
On board with Tom as he works his way through the S's. This is that part here where you're really accelerating hard through here. Grabbing gears, rolling down the hill, then charging back up. You're on the brakes here. Let that baby eat all the way out to the curbing there, Ben, and then it's hard charge through the chutes down here.
Yeah, so you can see he's not driving conservatively. He's using all of the track, leaving it all out there, because if you know Tom Pank, he wants that overall win. And he had some, we were talking about Andy Pilgrim with Ski Autosport. He and Andy, even though they weren't really competing against each other, had some great races here.
Yeah, they did, yeah. You know, at times, I know Tom grumbles once in a while about the different exhibition cars that come in, but it's always a Tom Pank challenge for him.
Yeah.
And he will seek that as a challenge, and he does a good job at it.
That is the best his car has looked in a while. That looks really good. They have really done some work on this car.
So Memo flashing the lights a little bit, letting everybody know he's coming through. About the distance of the front straightaway, the gap between first and second right now.
Here's some of our Stuttgart Cup cars. This car here, the Porsche, Ken, I see it coming in through the paddock. It must store its car here on site somewhere, because I see them just coming through the ticket gate every day. in that car, so they must have a garage here somewhere close.
Yeah, could be.
You're talking about the black one there,
that
16.
had garages over in the industrial park, just on the other side of Road Atlanta.
That's Denton in that 16, yeah. It's Twatty right here in the 68. David right now is sitting in 5th overall.
Now you can see the inputs there. And the bottom left, you can see his hands. You can see what the inputs he's given to the steering wheel. You can see when he's on the brakes, on the throttle. A lot of great information on these in-cars.
Almost 120 miles an hour through the dip down there. Juan Gonzalez coming through the Mission Foods back entry.
Some fantastic looking cars in this field. And I don't know if you put out a memo, Ken, but it seems like your whole field got a memo to make sure that they have bright liveries on their cars at International GT.
Yeah. I was looking at the Carrera car. I love the look of that one. Makes you want to run home and dig out the slot car track, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mark Sandridge.
Yep, Sandridge.
Ben Truiz. Long time competitor.
He's back in 16th right now.
Yeah, he had a problem at before the start. You know, he was gridded up in the top 10, and I saw him come through last. So he had a problem on the pace area. He had to fight the way back after a very good start, winning the class yesterday. So he has some work to do on this race and move forward. But if he gets a good time, it'll qualify him back up towards the front for a race.
Let it roll through turn 7 there in 3rd. Now he's up through the gears, up into 5th. Down that long straightaway. That's Tom Pank right there. Back through the S's.
So Lucas Pank has lost Michael Merritt somewhere.
Yeah, I thought that was Tom because he was all by himself, but it was actually Lucas, wasn't it? I saw the 40 and the 42.
Woody Witchard in that beautiful
Here's
blue
Lucas.
car.
Let's see if we can stay with Lucas, and let's see what his top speed is as he makes his way down this long backside of the racetrack down to the very hard braking zone at 10A and 10B. 155 miles an hour and climbing as he gets ready to start braking, so just shy of 160.
And between the 200 and 100 mark, that's impressive. And you can see his hands. He looks relaxed. Looks like that's a good car for Lucas.
You're not relaxed right here. I guarantee it. No matter how good the car is, you're not relaxed through there.
No, I call that pucker power. You're puckering up pretty good. Matter of fact, this old track, as we came through that dip and that left-right before coming up the hill here under the bridge, I'm an old-school guy, and I remember the old track. And there was nothing more heroic than going as fast as you could down the back straight and then going in the dip and going different and just hanging on and hoping nobody's on the other side of the bridge. It was pretty heroic. But this new configuration, as I call it, probably been done 25 years ago, has added a lot of passing zones and, again, a lot of more technicality, if there's such a word.
And that's what you're talking about right there. That
Yes,
used to
exactly.
be the dip that ran you up right up under the bridge here instead of that.
Before it was just testosterone that was powered down the hill. Now it's the technical aspect of it.
And to be honest, it's a lot safer. Even though as the white flag comes out, it's still every bit as challenging.
Yes.
But boy, it was.
This is an old school racetrack, and it's not a place you want to go off. As I said yesterday, if you think you're going fast on the tarmac, wait till you get on the grass.
Yeah.
It's like hitting the hyperspace button. And those blue and white walls come up very quickly, and there's not a lot of forgiving area here. It's an old school racetrack. You have to respect it. And, fortunately, on these two races, our drivers have. They've done a good job.
Look at Tom Pank bouncing through there. But Graver, you're in other exhibition,
and you know
is trying
what?
to catch him.
It looks like he's slowing down a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah, the Lambo got on him pretty fast.
Will Ralph take us home?
Well, down this long back stretch we go. Everybody chasing Memo Gidley, who's way out front. Tom Pank trying to hold off Craver right now. Here's Twatty still working his way through traffic. and he runs in 5th. Yeah, here comes the Lambo. Craver making the run. Under braking. Going to take over the 2nd place position as we work our way to the checkers. Down the hill they come. Gidley is already across the line to take the overall win, and here it comes. Craver's just going to get across in front of Pank. As Tom hangs on for 3rd.
But Pank is 1st overall in IGT.
In GT, yes.
But that last lap he did.
Something changed on that, and it was on that last lap, it seemed like. No.
Yeah.
Part of the whole experience. So that's where I'm headed. So thanks, guys, and we'll see you this afternoon.
All right,
All
thanks,
right, Ken. Thank you for coming by.
So it looks like from International GT, we had Memo Gidley and Jason Craver 1st and 2nd exhibition overall. But IGT, Tom Pank, Reg Williams, David Tuwati, Lucas Pank, and Michael Merritt. Top
Juan
5.
Gonzalez across the line. He will finish in 9th, with Boyette and Kayer coming across right behind him.
That is the winner in International GT, Tom Pank, all the way from Maryland with the Bay Saber Technologies car. We do have a lot of spectators here, and there are a lot of great places. Some tracks you go to, there's 2 or 3 spectator areas, but there are over a dozen great spectator areas. And when you're in the spectator area, the fan zone, go do the SpeedTour Checker Flag Challenge. Try your skills in our simulators up there. You'll be racing in Road Atlanta on our simulators.
You say it often at a road course that, get up and walk around, check the place out. This is truly one of those tracks where you need to do that, because it will change the perspective of the racing for you pretty rapidly depending on where you're standing.
Yeah, you were saying Spectator Hill, and you can really see how drastic the up and the down is when you're up on the hill. The video just can't do it justice. There's Julie Bentley there with International GT. So Ski Autosports, I may be wrong, but I think that stands for Spending Kids Inheritance. And they just love coming out and racing. We love it too. It's great to see them back out here.
Whether they intended it that way or not, it works, right?
Yeah, it does. There's Tom Pank, the winner in International GT, getting out. That's Kurt. We were talking about Kurt there checking his tire pressures. That is the man with his team. They rebuilt that engine in just maybe 3 weeks to get him back out here. So that's quite a feat itself. And then there's the overall winner, Memo Gidley.
Memo's had a lot of victories on land and in the water. Big into sailing. And adds another one to the pretty extended list here at Road Atlanta International GT. That's 2 back-to-back for him this weekend.
It's a good-looking car, too. Tom Pank also owns an Audi R8 that he bought from Flying Lizard back in the day.
Well, this one got underway with a good field of cars here today. Their first race on Saturday. They've got a couple to go here this weekend. Memo out front. Gidley pulled away, and everybody chased him throughout the afternoon here. Some of the good battles we saw on the racetrack, including the 991 there of Eric Gray and the 58. That's Mark Sandridge. Here's one of the paint cars.
Dr. Reg Williams showing the lights. I'm coming through, buddy. around Rick Manis and the Stuttgart Cup.
And Twatty coming through as he worked his way up into a top 5 finish in 5th. Tom Pank taking the overall in International GT there in the 42. And Memo Gedley taking the first card of the checkered flag. All right, we're going to be back at noon for our live coverage of Trans Am presented by Pirelli, which you can also see on Speed Sport 1, depending on how your viewing preferences are. And we will be back to kick off the big feature race of the day, Ben, at noon Eastern, right here live from Road Atlanta. Okay, we're going to step away for now. We'll see you at noon, everybody. So long.
Yes. Hon, the WeatherTech's here.
WeatherTech is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Laser measured floor liners, no drill mud flaps, cargo liner, bump step, seat protector, and cup phone.
What about my car?
WeatherTech.
Hawk Performance packs 100 years of friction dynamics into every product. Backed by Carlisle Brake and Friction, the world's premier innovator of industrial brake and friction components, Hawk leverages R&D tools and motorsports experience to deliver uncompromising performance on the street. There's no reason to settle for less. Choose pads that are race-proven and street-legal. Find the Hawk Performance brake dealer near you at hawkperformance.com.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance. Priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.